Hi, my name is Mary Barley, and this is my creating project presentation for EDU 709. So when we first started off researching our innovative uses of technology, I was really confused on what we were trying to get out of this, what we're trying to accomplish in the end. And what I started after, I started clicking once we did our Zoom meeting, but what I was trying to do even after that, is how could I use it like right now in this very particular moment? And I was thinking about a certain lesson and how I could use it just during one lesson. And really what I was doing is I was settling. Wasn't something that I had to have. But I have to tell you, it was kind of like a gamble to start this so late in the process, but when we were on week 2 of our researching, it wasn't until that Thursday, so I really only had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to get this all done. That's when I had that aha moment of, what can I use, and how can I use it like now and even into the future, like for all my students. So one thing is that I started thinking about what I struggle with within my own district personally. One thing is that my district does not provide a 1-to-1 ratio when it comes to students to computers. That's a big problem. And then another thing was that we just got approved last year was the first year that students could actually use electronic devices. Part of the reason why is because of what I just said, is that we just don't have the means to give our student those technologies, like a computer. So they have always had their cell phone. Well, in their free time now, what are they doing? They're always on social media. So if I'm trying to look at that, I wanted to use that to my benefit. What can I do personally that I could connect with my students outside of the classroom or even inside the classroom, but also giving that technology portion of it. And that's kind of when I said, okay, I'm going to use some sort of social media. And so for my researching, I was comparing the two, Instagram and Facebook. So like I said, you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. And if you look over here on the right hand side, I actually use this in my as a resource, but this researching center found that obviously more teens ages 13 to 17 are actually using Facebook versus Instagram, and I can tell you personally I am. I use it all the time, so I was very savvy when it comes to using Facebook. Okay, so getting into the creating projects, well, starting back off again, where do I begin? Same boat. I was still confused, not really sure where to start. And then I kind of was overthinking in it. And I wanted to do the best type of, Facebook project I could possibly think of, giving them the best interactive tools possible for learning. Well, that was too much. And the reason why is, you look over to the right hand side, is what I teach is 7th grade. In my district, a semester is over 18 weeks, and my class, which is health, is 9-week class. And when health ends after the 9 weeks, keyboarding students will come to health class. Health class students will go to keyboarding. So we just kind of switch our classes. So I only have a little bit of short window, and they're also learning computer tools and how to type, and they probably this is going to be their first time online class, like partial, because that's what I'm trying to go for. And maybe they don't know how to navigate the internet very well. Maybe this is their first time that they're even using social media. So there's many things to take into account. I didn't want to overwhelm them being at such a low grade level. So I wanted to keep it really simple, since how they are those rookies. And I also wanted to continue on with what I've been doing in my master's classes, which is ultimately creating a nutrition unit online. So the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to create my own Facebook classroom, and I've never done this before. As you can see here, this is just a screenshot of what my actual classroom looks like. This actually is my classroom, and you'll see it here in a minute when I take you through it. But this is really what I just did up front, just to try to create it. Okay, and it's called Mrs. Byerly's Health Classroom. It is made public, as you can see right now, for a short period of time. So if you want to check it out, you can. But I'm the nutrition unit overview. So students are going to be learning about nutritious and healthy ways of choosing food, all while learning how to maintain a healthy weight. So particularly, I've kind of tweaked it from other master's courses that I've taken to this one. And what would happen is that I would have, in my own classroom, taught lessons 1 through 3 there. Then lessons 4 and 5, which technically would be our lesson 1 and 2 that we had to create, those would actually be taught using Facebook in this particular case. First off, though, what I'd be doing is because again, this is 7th grade, they really need this step-by-step instruction so they don't get lost and overwhelmed in the process. And I would give them an outline of the entire unit, so I would break it down, but I'd also give them another outline when it comes to steps 4 and 5, or lessons 4 and 5, I should say. But any documents that they would receive, like handouts, for any of the lessons, especially 4 and 5, when they're on their own, they would receive those in class. So I'd already give those to them. So this is just kind of a quick overview of the lesson. Lesson 4 is about body image and giving out a healthy image. So a lot of the times, like right now, we're living in a world that's very fake, and especially when it comes to body image and our definition in our society of what beautiful is, unfortunately. So this lesson, I want them to understand that beauty is actually found within, and that part of that is accepting who we are as a person. So this lesson is built around using Facebook, obviously, as our classroom. It has tons of videos in it. It has screencasts, and it has a group discussion. So I'll talk about that in a minute. These are the main objectives I want out of it. So explain the concept of body image, determine your body mass index, and state the benefits of having a positive body image. The technology that's going to be used during this lesson is going to be YouTube. Again, I don't want to overdo it with them. So it's an informative video about negative body images and loving yourself, who you are as a person. There's a screencast that I personally created, just like this one, on body image. I also have them view a photo shoot that will actually bring awareness about what Photoshop is and what they do, so we can't really just trust all the advertisements that are out there. I have them listen to a video, Try, it's by Kobe Collette. I can't even remember how we say her name. But anyways, I wanted them to get the message out of that video. They're also going to be visiting a website, the CDC website, to calculate out their own student body mass index. The other lesson that I've created, and this is when it comes to calories and portion size, and again, maintaining a healthy weight. I want them to understand definitely about calories and portion size, that obviously we know that we need a 2,000 roughly calorie diet, but obviously teens don't know that. And so what a calorie is, and how to just kind of just pay attention to what they're putting and consuming in their body every single day. So when they're doing this, I wanted them to have that interactive experience. So in this particular lesson, they're going to go on a scavenger hunt around on the internet, and they're also going to visit a website that's going to help them take some similar foods and compare them when it comes to calories. So the learning objectives are going to get on here to state the benefits of a healthy weight, identify how to calculate calories and portion size on a nutrition label, and analyze between products to make a healthier choice. So the technology that I'm going to use in this one is a YouTube video. So it's another screencast that I created. They're going to go to some websites. 6 of the websites are going to be for the scavenger hunt, and that's obviously when they're learning about, it looks like I forgot to finish that, but serving size and portions. And then lastly, they're also going to use Foodipedia, and that's when they're going to be comparing those similar products. All right. So prior knowledge. So before I want them, or they get into this, most students are going to hopefully probably know how to use Facebook. And obviously there's a source here, but 71% of them already know how to use it. However, the ones that don't, okay, obviously I'm going to need to, as a teacher, probably have to teach them that, whether it's just sitting down with them and pulling it up on the screen. Maybe we go down to the computer lab, but they're all going to know this prior to learning the lesson. So they're not just going to be thrown at it. Lesson 4, here you go. They don't even know what to do. So I would never do that. Well, things that they're going to need to know: setting up how to do a new account and password, what notifications are, how to do a status update, maybe profile information, photos, videos, how to tag, personal messenger. So if they need to talk to me about something, or their peers, sharing posts, privacy settings, and policies. As a teacher, we need to be able to know how to create it, how to add posts with videos, pictures, polls, documents, whatever you need, how to help students when they have a question online, and then also the big one I would think would be how you're going to grade your students based on their participation level and the quality of work that they're given within that. There are pros and cons of using a Facebook. There's tons of pros. It definitely makes the learning probably more fun and interacting with students. Lots of communication between students and teachers. There's constant feedback. There's a ton of different things. Definitely, I think even motivation at the very bottom. So when it comes to cons, though, I think the biggest one that I've written down here is probably the fact that they have to be 13. I teach 7th grade, and unfortunately this is a huge one, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, but this right here is probably something that I would not be able to use, unfortunately, in my classroom because of it. I have a lot of students that are 11, 12, and this is not okay, because obviously these are the rules of Facebook. Possibly even parents not even wanting their kid to have a social media site such as Facebook. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to take you through my what I would be doing. So if I pull this up, give me 1 second. Okay, so this is like what I was trying to tell you about the first document that they would be receiving. This is the outline for the entire lesson. So the lessons 1 through 3, as you can see here, these are done within the classroom. Then when you get down to lesson 4 and 5, these are done on Facebook, and I tell them what the lesson's about, the learning objectives there. They're also going to receive another one, and this is definitely the steps, what I need to do steps. So lesson 4 and lesson 5 are in here, and I want to read this with you really quick so you understand exactly why I want to break this down. So it says, in lessons 4 and 5, you are using our Facebook classroom, so Mrs. Byerly's Health Classroom, to learn about the lessons by watching videos, engage in innovative activities, and interact with your peers. When you go to Facebook, make sure you follow the lessons in order of the steps on the sheet. Look at the bolded words on Facebook. For example, the first post that you will want to look for in lesson 4 is lesson 4 step 1. So if you look down here, it says lesson 4 step 1, and I tell them what they need to do. I even say this may require you to scroll up on the Facebook page to find the correct step. So then I tell them that they can instant message me on Facebook or email me too if they're having any questions outside of the classroom. But if you can see, I definitely break it down for them. They need this step.